In this morning's Business Insight, the Women's Fund of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation leads our community in ensuring the economic self-sufficiency of women in our region. The premise is that when women are empowered, the entire community thrives. Megan Cummings was named Executive Director of GCF's Women's Fund about 6 months ago. She joins Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio to talk about the fund and how it connects to a wide variety of important issues in our community. Megan and Jamie.
Thanks, Peg. Megan, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the issues you deal with at the Women's Fund. They're not always, I guess, what's considered women's issues, so talk a little bit more about that.
Right. We don't think it's just women's issues. These are community issues, and we know when we address these, the whole community thrives. The other thing is our color at the Women's Fund is purple, and that's really symbolic because these issues are not blue issues or red issues either. They're purple issues. They really apply to everyone. In our work, we deal with women's economic self-sufficiency, and there are many factors that go into a woman's ability to be self-sufficient. And specifically, we focus on quality, affordable, and accessible child care, training and education, living wage issues, and employment issues. So I think we'd all agree these touch every part of the community, not just women.
Absolutely. Now, there's a lot of talk in our region right now about poverty.
Right.
Tell me how you guys play a role in that issue.
Right. Well, the women we deal with, we don't do direct delivery of service. We really work at a systems level affecting women and their ability to be self-sufficient. So when we look at poverty, a lot of the folks in poverty are working, and a lot of them are women. So our research uncovered that 2 out of 3 kids living in poverty, and we've all heard that stat, Cincinnati has the second highest child poverty rate in the nation right now. 2 out of 3 of those kids are living in single female-headed households. So we think it is so important that if we want to help those kids in poverty, we look at their households. And our research uncovers that their households are mostly single working women, and we need to improve the jobs for them and look at what sectors they're in and how we can help those moms too.
Oh, wow.
We're at a really special moment in our community on the Child Poverty Initiative. I have never seen so much momentum with the business community and government and nonprofits really sitting down to work on these issues.
Absolutely.
And we can't wait to be a part of that and help complement and support their efforts because it's really important.
Well, good. Now, I know the Greater Cincinnati Foundation does a ton of things. You guys are so widespread. Tell me why it's so important to have the Women's Fund.
Absolutely. Well, we are so proud to be part of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. That's been our home for the 20 years we've been in existence, so it's really amazing. And they work on important community issues. I think what we can bring to the party every day is that we wake up and think specifically about how these issues affect women in our community. So for instance, there was a great report done a few years ago, the Jobs Outlook Report for our region. And it was done by the Chambers and the Stride Partnership and Partners for Competitive Workforce. And it showed where the jobs are growing, what sectors, who's going to hold these jobs. And the Women's Fund looked at this data, which was so important. We thought, I wonder if we put a gender lens to it, if it would tell a different story. And it absolutely did. We saw a lot of the most high-growing job sectors are actually dominated by women and very low-wage jobs, like home health care aides and retail jobs and food service jobs. So that gives us an opportunity to say this tells a completely different story when we put a gender lens to this data, and it helps us clarify the challenges and then tackle them and disseminate that information. Wow. Research is a huge core of what we do.
Yeah, well, it's so great because I know I was at an event not too long ago and they were talking about how oftentimes women in some of these positions have the chance to be mobile and move up, but because of child care issues or because of extended hours, they can't do it.
There's a lot of barriers, and especially for single women, they are managing multiple demands. And the more we can help expose these barriers and help them out, the sky's the limit for how far these women can go. And when these women thrive, our whole community thrives. And I think that's something we all have.
Awesome. I applaud you and the Women's Fund for doing that. Now, you guys have a big event coming up in April to support your work. Tell us a little bit real quickly about it. I know we're going to have information on the screen right now telling the website, but tell us real quickly about it.
So our biggest event of the year is a conversation event, and this year we are welcoming Cokie Roberts from NPR. A great year to have her involved. Absolutely. And we're expecting about 700 people to join us for this conversation.
Men and women?
Oh, of course, of course. We include men in all parts of our work. Men are donors to us. Men are on our board. If this is a community issue, we need all people involved, men and women. But this is an awesome event to get some exposure to our work.
Good. Well, wish you luck on this and
Thank
on
you.
all that you guys do. And thanks to the Women's Fund, but again to the Greater Cincinnati Foundation in whole for everything that you do for the community.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks for being on.